So I've opened up the urban hydrology for small watersheds. I'm going to go ahead and do a file save. You all should too if you haven't already. And I'm going to call this TR55 Worksheets. Now I'm also going to rename that first spreadsheet. All I did was pick the tab and then right click and then rename, and I'm going to call this runoff, okay, dash CN, runoff CN. So where did I find the table 2-2? Over here in the urban hydrology for small watersheds. If you scroll down, you'll see the table for the curve numbers, and those tables are right here. So what I have is I actually have on the insert tab, it says screenshot. So I'm going to do actually a screen clipping. When it does that, it allows me to highlight or pick the area that I want to clip. Now the reason I'm doing this is it becomes kind of a pain if you don't have all your data all located in the same place. So again, you may not have this in the Office 365, the screen clipping. Insert screenshot, go to screen clipping. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I just hit escape to get out of it because I need to scroll down. So go ahead and either screen clip the sheets in, or there's another thing that I can do is I can actually go insert a picture. And what I'll do is I'll insert the picture. I'll go to, let me show you what I mean. I can insert a picture from the class. So this is just a picture I'm going to insert. So once you insert something, it'll come in like this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll create these. If you don't have the screenshot, then I'll create these and send me a message that you need the pictures to insert. Okay, so go ahead and bring in all of the tables. Insert screenshot here, and that allows you to go, okay, within the same file, working file, you can say, okay, go to this table or this figure, and you can go over here and find it. It's the same thing with the it's the same thing with the figure 2-3 and 2-4. Now I'm going to pause here and I'll export those pictures out, and I'll show you what I mean by inserting the picture. All right, so I'm going to create the sheet. I've already brought in or made pictures out of the other two figures, the figure 2-3 and 2-4, and I'll show you how to bring them in as pictures. So I'm going to rename this first and say figure 2-3 underscored 2-4. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to insert, go picture, and I am going to go out and find the figure 2-3, 2-4, and I'm going to insert it. And that's how you would insert it. The screen captures are a little bit clearer than the pictures that are inserted, but I'm going to go ahead and move on. So now I can look up on the curve number in that table what it would be for wooded. So wooded fair with the grass combination is 43. So I can go back to my runoff curve number and I can type in 43 here. Buildings are going to be 98. I don't have to look that up. And pervious pavement, you would have to see if there's anything that's included. Right now you can see impervious areas are 98, but you can think of them as partially pervious. There's going to be some type of literature on them. I would estimate them to be, maybe an 85. It has some impervious in it that you can use. Oops, sorry about that. So let's say that this was an 85. in here. So let me go back to my curve number, and I say 85. There's some imperviousness to it, but it's not completely impervious. Let's say we had 3 acres. This is probably the developed condition, so we'll say it's actually a developed condition, not, oops, sorry, undeveloped. So we have 3 acres, 1 acre, and 1.47 acres. I actually like to have a running total, so I'm going to say total here. We'll need all these totals added up. So we're going to say equal sign, and we're going to say SUM for sum, and we're going to highlight these cells here, and we're going to right click. Okay, so on that it should be G and not H. G 13 to G23. So you're going to say, and I don't know why it's clicking on 2s and 3s. Here we go. Equal sign, sum, and I'm going to highlight this area. And I'm going to close the parentheses. Okay, that's in the wrong place. Sorry about this, guys. Equal sign, sum, and then I'm left picking and then sliding with the left mouse button down, and I'm going to close the parentheses. Now I'm going to say the part here is going to be equal sign, and it's going to be the curve number, that cell there, and I just left picked it, and I'm going to hit the shift number 8 to give me that multiplication sign, and then pick that one. And then you can grip this at the corner. You can see that little dot right there. You can hover over it and then left pick it and then bring it down. If you bring it down all the way to the end, it just puts zeros in there. So I like to leave mine, and if I ever need it, I can just grip edit it and pull it down. Okay? And to scroll in and out, I'm just hitting the control button and scrolling with my mouse. Okay? Now, the next part of it has to be with the curve number and it being weighted. Now, I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to go Control C. Actually, I'm going to highlight this. Go Control C and Control Paste. I don't know why that is going to 2. I'm going to switch views on this, and I'm going to go to the normal layout. I don't know if that's what's causing me to have this issue. I didn't have it before when I created the sheet, but I am now. So I'm going to go Control C, and I'm going to pull this over and go Control V. Now I'm going to say equal sign, but here's the thing. Notice in this that it is superscript. So I'm going to highlight that equal sign, go to the Home tab, click on the button, and unsuperscript it. Okay? And then what I'm going to do next is, instead of typing everything, I'm trying to use as much information out of these sheets as I can. So I'm going to go Control C on that one. I'm going to come over here and go Control V. And I'll just get rid of that equal sign. Now notice that it's pushed out over here. It's because it's on the center, so I need to change that to the left justified. Okay. Now the next thing is again, I'm going to highlight the curve number weighted. I'm going to go Control Copy, Control C, and I'm going to Control V here. And then I'm going to say equal sign, and then I'm just going to write total product, and I'm going to write CN times area divided by total area. Okay, so that's going to give me a weighted curve number. Now I'm going to put that here, so I'm going to go CN parentheses weighted close parentheses equals. Now I'm going to move this to here, and I'm going to right justify it, so right alignment. Now I'm going to take and make an equation. So all equations always start with an equal sign, and I'm going to take the total product, that's that cell, divided by, and I'm going to pick that cell. Okay, and I'm also going to come up here. I only want 2 decimal places, so you can come up here and go decrease decimal places like that. All right, and I'm going to make that center justified. Now, any types of numbers that I want to use and want to bring attention to, I'm going to highlight these cells, and I'm going to change that color to an orange. Okay, you can change any of these colors that you want to whatever you wish. Okay, now again, when you pick the colors, it's just to help yourself along and not specifically a criteria. Also, I don't want these to have borders, so I'm going to highlight that, and I have to just come up here and go no borders. Okay, the reason I'm showing you all this, not only is it to show you how the spreadsheets work and how the math works, but when you get into the industry, you'll actually have to be creating a lot of spreadsheets on your own to show your calculations. And it's a really good idea to start now to create and understand how to create spreadsheets that are easy to read and convey information. So the next thing I'm going to do is going to be the runoff. In the runoff, you're going to have the frequency. Now, I'm going to just go frequency, rainfall, P in 24 hours. So it's a 24-hour event, 10-year, 25-year, 100-year. And then runoff, and it's going to be in Q. Now, I am going to make that right justified, and then I'm going to say years is in frequency, inches is in rainfall, and inches is in runoff. Now I'm going to send that to the left side. In this one, it actually had ... If you want to make it like that, then it's more about the aesthetics of ... and then years, and then ... inches, and I don't have a specific number of dots, and then this one's going to be ... inches. Now I make these and I pull them over here, same with this one, and I pull it over here, and the reason I do that is so I can make them all left justified, okay, just aesthetically, so it looks nice. Now I'm going to say you can say storms, or you can do number one. The other nice thing is it does recognize it does recognize patterns when you pull it over, and it'll increase. Doesn't always work that way, but sometimes it does. Highlight these, and I'm just going to highlight those and merge that and just go design storm, and then I'll just make a border around those. So all I did was left pick and then drag while I'm left picking to create a box. Now the frequency will say 10 years, 25 years, 100 years. Now we'd have to go out and find the storm. Now here's the other thing that I have on mine, is on mine I've actually created hyperlinks. So if I clicked on this, if I hold and click on that, it'll actually take me out to the internet, to the website here. While it thinks I'll switch back. I should have copied this over, that if the curve number is less than 30, further calculations will not be made. Notice how this is all cramped up in there. If you highlight a whole line of it by clicking on the number here, left clicking, and then right clicking, you can actually insert a cell. Now, finally what pops up is this website here. Okay, so if you want to create a hyperlink, all you have to do is find that link, whatever that link is, and you can go to the online canvas and get the information that I've already posted there, and go Control Copy, Control C, and then up here you can say hyperlink, and then you can just write in NOAA Atlas 14 precipitation, and then when you highlight that when you just left click on that cell, you can go to insert and you can click on hyperlink and you can go Control V here and then go OK, and it turns it into a hyperlink. It's the same thing that you have if you look at mine that has another link for the NRCS. Now I've shown you the NRCS and the Atlas website a couple times, so you should be able to find the hyperlink on that. So I'm going to say NRCS soil map, or actually it's the web soil survey. Click on that underneath the insert tab, click on the hyperlink, and whoops, Control paste the web soil survey there. Okay, and you have the hyperlinks like I do. Now, so when you go to the map here, you can type in your project address, VOTA, or whichever, and you'll get the storm events, okay, down here. I've already looked those up, and those are going to be 6.08. And we're going to use what the Land Development Code for Apopka says, the 8.6, and the 100-year is 10.1 precipitation in inches. So now the other thing in this spreadsheet, it says you can use the figures. I'm going to go Control C, I highlighted that, and I'm going to go Control V here. Okay. Or you can use, I have the these equations here. Okay. I'm going to go Control C and Control V. I'm going to paste those there. These you can actually get out of, you can type them in if you want for the equations. I like to type the equations in. Now, to get these equations, they are actually in the TR55 underneath Chapter 2, these two equations here, 2-3 and 2-. So I just did a print screen on that. So I went Insert, Screenshot, and just did the print screen on that. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the equation here. So what I need to do is solve for what the S is. So as I'm building this, I realize I need to solve for S, which is a function of Cn. So I'm going to highlight this cell right below that Cn and give myself, insert, a little bit of room. So I'm going to say S is equal to, and then I'm going to put equal sign to start my equation, 1000 divided by, and I'm going to pick the cell above it, the Cn, and then minus 10. Okay? So that gives me S. Now over here, what I'm going to do is you need to pay attention to how your formulas work. I'm going to do the top half of the equation. So I'm going to do equal sign, and I'm going to start my parenthesis. And it's going to say the precipitation, the cell above it, minus parenthesis, 0.2 times, and that's Shift 8, and then pick the S cell, close that parentheses. Okay, that closes 0.2 times S. Now I'm going to have to close it one more time to get the entire thing. Okay, now I'm going to raise it, and to raise something, you hit Shift on your keyboard and the number 6, and it gives you that little caret, and then you're going to put a 2. Now, in the orders of operation, I'm just going to come up here because it's easier. I need a parentheses here and a parentheses here to close the entire thing. And I'm going to divide, and I'm going to start another parentheses, and I'm going to say precipitation. So I'm going to pick that P cell, plus, and I'm going to create a parentheses, 0.8 times, so that's Shift 8, and then the S value. And I'm going to pick that S cell. I'm going to close the parentheses and close the parentheses. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the home, and I'm going to click on decrease decimal places. Now, here's the other thing. In this equation, we're always referring back to this point right here, and that is H27. So I'm going to highlight, I'm going to pick H27. You can double click on H27, and you're going to hit your function key, F4, which is going to put dollar signs in front of the H and after the H. Or you can just pick the point right in front of the H and hit the dollar sign, move over, use your arrow key, and hit the dollar sign again. What that does is it always keeps that one cell referenced. Now you can take this and left click and pull it over, and it does all your calculations for you. Now the other thing that I like to do, like I said, I like to make this nice and neat. I'm going to highlight all those cells, and I'm going to click on the center to get everything centered up. All right, so now what we have, I'm going to highlight all these. I have to, I'm sorry, those, and I'm going to turn them blue because we have to input those, and I'm going to turn these orange because those are results. All right, so I'm going to pause here, and this is the example for your runoff and curve number worksheet. The next worksheet we'll work on is the time of concentration.